Hi everyone, I'm Mike Larson from Mike's Critters, and I've been working with exotic animals for several decades now. Quite a few different things, but today we're going to talk about one marsupial in particular. The marsupials in general, they're a class of animals that give birth to really young babies called joeys, and the mums carry the babies in their pouch. Some of the more well-known marsupials are kangaroos, koalas, wallabies, wombats, and the snarly Tasmanian devil. Most species of marsupials are in Australia and some of the outlying islands, but we actually do have some in the Americas. We have the opossum up here, actually in BC, and a few others, mostly in South America. But they've been getting sightings and reports of one rare one in the BC interior up in the mountains. It's a really weird one called a marmogot. What we know about a marmogot isn't much. It's a bit of folklore, and it's actually being considered now a cryptic animal like Sasquatch and Ogopogo. There's been a few sightings over the years, and even one or two of the native First Nations bands have some stories about them in their myths, and it's a bit of a legend. We know they're very hard to find for a few different reasons. Most sightings have been in the Okanagan and the interior, up in the mountains, but also there seems to be a few more coming from a small town called Big Silver Peaks. Maybe they've been spotted, maybe it's due to people getting into BC bud, if you know what I mean, but these seem to be a bit of a close relative to a marmot, which we do have in the interior and up in Alaska. They are a nocturnal animal, so I think they're kind of avoiding people. That's why we don't know a lot about them. And they don't really like the hot weather, so they actually, sounds like they brumate during the hot summer months. Its nighttime activity is somewhat sloth-like, as it's a different creature, difficult creature to hunt or trap. It's able to camouflage in almost any habitat or environment. But one thing that's kind of weird about them is their sugary black, or their blood is like sugary black fermented licorice, kind of like Sambuca. In the early days, this is why people were first learning about them and trying to catch them. Behind me is some footage of what some people think is this critter. We think the Nelson family might have copied this from the National Geographic footage that was sent in, but we'll have to find that out to a later date. That's all I have time for today. If you have any info, please contact Canadian Wildlife Services. They'd appreciate pictures, because if it is a real animal, not a cryptid one, they want to preserve it and its natural habitat. Thanks a lot. It's Mike Larson signing out from Mike's Critters.